We do have one more match to go this evening, and yes, indeed, it does include an OGS team member once again, and they have truly dominated so far today, as we have TheWinD taking part in this next match. We also have LoveRip from the Wera clan, so we actually have two clans meeting once again, and so far today, I mean, it has indeed been all old generations, so to say, and we'll see if they can add another one to their notch.
These guys are monsters, and that's why we see them in every match just about. OGS has some of the best players out there. You know, I got to give, I'm being partial, but Wera's out there too, so I'm almost hoping that Wera plays, gives a little bit better show this time around than they have earlier.
All right, well, we'll hope to see if that is the case or not. A lot of pressure on TheWinD to give his team a clean sweep for the day. I'm sure the entire team will be enjoying a good night of festivities if they can pull off the clean sweep. 5 for 5 on this day, but well, we'll have to wait and see. Let's go and meet the players as they are standing by right now. From the Wera team, this is LoveRip, and his name is Kim Kyung-tak. He is a Protoss player, as this is a PVZ. Favorite map is Metalopolis. That will not be used today, and yeah, he's got a bit of baby fat on him. He's still 16 years of age, still quite young, and we'll see if he can name a name for himself through this tournament at this young age. By the way, maps that he did not want on the maps of choice were Shakura's Plateau and Steppes of War. His favorite map is Metalopolis, and of course none of those three are on our schedule of maps for today's game. Let's go meet his opponent from the OGS team. It is TheWinD, and he is blowing through here with the rest of his team as he made it to the round of 32 last season as well. Of course, last season was just a couple months ago, and he wants to see if he can pull that off again this time around. At least he'll have to win today in order to ensure advancing to the round of 32. Maps that he did not want were Steppes of War and Jungle Basin for the maps on this maps for today. As for the maps that we are going to be using, let's take a look at them. Zelnaga Caverns is going to be our map for set number 1. Set 2 is going to be on Scrap Station. And set number 3 is on Blistering Sands. Of course, that is only if need be. So, we had our maps there. We've got a Protoss versus Zerg matchup. Any maps out of these that you favor to one race or the other?
You know, I'm a real big fan of, I love PvC is the thing, and I think we're going to see Blistering. If we see a match on Blistering Sands, I think that will be the most exciting match that we're going to have out there. But one thing I want to point out for the players that aren't familiar with StarCraft 1, OGS TheWinD is a former SC1 Zerg pro gamer, and I'm sure he's going to be bringing his old set of skills into the new realm of SC2 here.
Okay, well, we'll see if he is able to do that or not as we get set for the last game of this evening, last game of the round of 64. Who is going to advance? Is it going to be TheWinD or LoveRip? Let's take a look. We are set to go. LoveRip from the Wera team. And he is our red Protoss player. His opponent is the blue Zerg down at 7 o'clock. It is TheWinD. I guess technically you could look at it and say, well, maybe his name's TheWinD.
I don't know if I'd want to say that to his face. He's a pretty big guy.
And also, you know, LoveRip, I guess that could also be Love. Rest in peace.
Oh, wow.
Oh. All right, let's get to the game. Protoss versus Zerg. What are the units that we are going to be seeing in this matchup?
Well, that's why it's so much fun, because Protoss vs. Zerg, once it gets into the mid-game, is just a constant flux of changing your units in response to what your opponent is doing. But primarily, we're going to probably see Protoss mix it up with Sentry Stalker, Zealot, Templar, and Zerg's going to be all over, mixing up the numbers of Roach, Zergling, Hydra. It all depends on how we transition into the mid-game, though. That's the key thing.
All right, TheWinD has gone to a spawning pool first build. By the way, the probe of LoveRip already in his base taking a look at that, so he knows exactly what's going on. There is no macro play here. As we take a look at the micro of these two players. Is he going to think about an expansion here? Indeed, he does get the expansion down. Looked like LoveRip wanted to get a little bit of harassment in there before he was able to lay down the hatchery, but TheWinD able to get it down pretty much at ideal timing. Cybernetics core up for LoveRip, being warped in, I should say. No extractor yet. Zerglings out, 4 of them, and takes out the probe.
Yeah, nothing too surprising here. Zerg's just playing standard expansion queen play, and Protoss is walling in and preparing his tech route.
Queen is out for TheWinD. LoveRip with a Zealot guarding the choke point, ensuring the Zergling does not get up the rampway. Sentry on the way for LoveRip. Sentry out. A couple more gateways.
Yeah, pretty standard, and one of my more favorite openings is the warp gate, 3-4 gate, put pressure on early, and really try to do a lot of damage early to the Zerg, expanding Zerg while taking your own expansion.
Twilight Council on the backside. Gonna chase the Zergling away. Roach Warren being spawned.
Now TheWinD sees exactly what's going on in the Protoss base. This is good. He doesn't mind, possibly sacrificing the Overlord here. Sees the Twilight Council, sees the 3 gates. Chooses to lay down spine crawlers, wants to play it safe.
And good timing, by the way, by TheWinD, because he had his Overlord in position there, just kind of standing by, and then he moved it up there right at the perfect timing to get the information that he wanted at the timing that he wanted.
Exactly. Again, that's something you develop over all these years of RTS gaming, knowing when it's time to scout again.
Forge on the way for Love. That's his nickname now. It's just
right.
Love.
When the scouting doesn't stop, I think TheWinD has just seen the Nexus for, yep, he sees the Protoss player expanding here.
Forge complete. Hatchery is upgrading. 5 sentries there, along with a couple of stalkers and a zealot.
Yeah, looking at production, Zerg's decided, okay, I see what Protoss is doing. Let me make 14 drones here. It's really going to get that economy working.
Overseer for the Wind. Changeling. Of Zerglings moving around, taking a look to see if they can get through. Are they going to get by? No, a good force field, making sure those Zerglings didn't get through into the main. Might have been able to squeeze by.
Well, I think he's going to try again. I think he's just looking around, really. That's. Oh, nope.
No, he is going to get into the main. Oh, I've got to think that's a little sloppy there.
That is quite sloppy by the Protoss.
Decent harassment there. He's going to get the Zealot easily.
And he was just pylon blocked here, so he couldn't warp those units into his main fast enough.
Going for both the assimilators, but not going to get them.
Yeah, way too much damage taken by the Protoss there for really nothing. Late game 10 Zergling, LOL.
Takes out the pylon. And by the way, Zerg expanding over at the 5 o'clock region as well. Plenty of spine crawlers. 3 of them, plus the Queen.
We see a few Zerglings there sneaking back around, but this time Protoss is a little bit more savvy.
Might have been better off trying to take 1 or 2 probes just there at the expansion. That one really went for naught.
I like the pressure coming up here. It's just going to be a little bit annoying. Pretend like he's actually going to do something, but he's a little too slow on getting out of there.
Trying to get through.
Oh, the Wind. Cut your losses.
Great force fields. Look at that, splitting up the units and trapping these roaches as they can't get out. Great play there by Love.
That is, and I'm a little bit unsure what the Wind's thought process was there.
And it might be about time to move out, says Love. Three bases for the Wind compared to just the 2 for Love. Love doesn't want to allow that to continue for too much longer.
Yeah, the Wind was trying to keep baiting him there. Stay in your base, he says. Stay in your base. I need a little more time.
Actually, Love in the minus for food for a moment after losing that last pylon. He's stuck at 84.76. Now finally gets to 84.84. Had to warp in 3 pylons at the same time. Bit sloppy there by Love.
But the Wind's got to be loving his drone count here. Is that 61 drones compared to Protoss's 46 here? So if he can kind of hold out here, make a few rounds of units, he's got upgrades coming. The Wind's going to be in a pretty good position.
Observer heading down to spot. Good force field there. Good play by Love, preventing those Zerglings from getting through again.
True, good force field, but really it's only 6 Zergling harassment. He's taking just a little bit too much damage from these really small, minor grievances here.
Plenty of roaches here. And it looks like the attack is on. Love going to the expansion. Stalkers, plenty of them. Meanwhile, look at this. Roaches going into the expansion on the other side. Want to take down that robotics facility. And he is going to get it indeed. The Immortal left all alone. But the attack is also on the other side. Wind has lost his third expansion, and the units are coming back to help out. The question is, will he hang on to this Nexus? Stalkers get back there in time, and that's going to force these to burrow. Roaches burrow out and move on. And now another pack. Oh, if he can bait those Stalkers out to follow him, he can move in with this new stack here. And here they come. Observer coming over. And if he can get a sandwich here, no, he's going to hold off with the other guys. He's going to the backside to get some of the workers.
Observer's coming in, though.
Here comes the Observer. Trying to sneak by if he can get some of these probes from the backside, though. He is getting plenty of them. Love is preoccupied trying to make this battle here that he's lost some probes in the battle.
Love showing off a bit here, taking care of these roaches handily.
Takes out a few pylons, and that's going to force him to burrow and move again. Retreating roaches.
Yeah, the problem is, though, the Wind's economy is perfect right where he wants it to be, so he's already up, like, I think 160. Yeah, he's 160 to Protoss 88 here, so it's about to be a matter of time before the onslaught of roaches overtakes these Stalkers.
Continuing. A couple of force fields.
While I like to harass, these probes of the expansion are just unable to stay there for very long.
And here's some more roaches again. Constant harassment here. And when in doubt, burrow and head out. Great play by TheWinD. Going after the Stalkers again. Some more harassment.
Yeah, the Blink Micro is looking pretty good, but he's waited too long to show it off. The Wind is nearly maxed here, 190.
190 to barely 100, if that even. 120 to 200 in food count. And more roaches. Here they come, and that's all he can handle. GG. So TheWinD able to take set number 1 on Zelnaga Caverns. A quality win for him there. He just kept the pressure on. He expanded first, was able to hang on to it for a while, but his harassment was constant. Getting those Zerglings in early on into the main, also very key. A little bit sloppy by Love. He had some good micro in other moments, but that was one key moment early on that really cost him in the long run.
Absolutely. He let really minor things affect his play, and I would have really liked to see early game. He had those 3 gateways. He should have put a little bit of pressure on, but instead he said, okay, well, he saw my Citadel. Let me get tricky. Let me change it up. And I don't think that's what he should have done.
All right, well, it cost him in that particular set. We'll see if he can come back with a better effort in set number 2. He certainly showed a lot of potential, had good micro throughout. It was just a couple of small mistakes that WinD was able to take advantage of, and certainly cost him in the long run. This is our last game of the evening, and this could very well be the last set. Set number 2 is going to be played on Scrap Station. LoveRip and TheWinD. Let's go to set number 2 to see, indeed, is every match today going to be a clean sweep? We haven't had a third set yet. Let's find out if this one's going to be a third set or not.